Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to make a incense cone holder. So it's going to be like in the shape of a mushroom sort of thing, and it'll be very cute because I'm going to have a little chimney at the top and the smoke will be able to come out of that. So hopefully that looks really cool. So I'll get cracking and show you how to do that one. So in your pack you'll have a block of clay, and what I've done is I've cut it in half, and then I've halved that half, so I've now got a quarter, and then I've halved that. So I've now got 1/8 of my clay, and I'm going to use this to make a pinch pot, like top of the mushroom sort of thing. So it's going to be like a bowl shape turned around the other way. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm just smoothing this ball out, so pat it together, get rid of any, if it's got like bits like that on, little creases, just keep tapping it round and it will eventually smooth off. So you're moving it round in one hand and you're patting it with the other hand. So you see how that's kind of smoothing off now? Because if you start with a cracked area on it, it'll just get a bigger crack in it, which doesn't actually affect the performance of anything, but it just doesn't look very tidy. So nice smooth ball there, and what I'm going to do is push me thumb right into the centre and stop before I go through the other end, so there's maybe about that much base on it. So that's going to be the bottom of my pot where the tip of my thumb is. If it's really hot or if you have dry hands, keep a little tub of water next to you, and you can kind of just dip your fingers in, get rid of most of the water off it. I don't want really wet hands, but it just takes the dryness off, as you can see the difference between my hands. And then basically I'm just pinching in between my fingers and my thumb, and I'm thinning this out. So I'm going to make it maybe about 7-8 mil thick. And I'm trying, every time I move this around, I'm feeling it between my finger and thumb to see if it feels about the same thickness as the bit that I've just done. And if it doesn't, I'm going to push more, and if it does, then I'm just going to leave it and then start working down. So I'm starting at the bottom end here and I work down to here. So this is still a bit thick, but this is pretty much the right sort of thickness that I want it. And you can see that kind of line there as well. You can see where I've been working to. So just keep pinching a little bit more. I do things super quick as well, so don't worry if you're not going as fast as me, especially if it's your first time doing pottery, which it very well might be. Then basically just get used to the clay first. So if your clay, try and keep your clay in the plastic bag that it came in, and try and keep it sealed without any air in it, because if it's air drying clay, so the clue's in the name, it dries out if it has loads of contact with the air. So if you want to keep it wet, keep it in plastic. If it starts to dry out too much and you've done a mistake with it maybe, you can recycle it. So just put it in a tub of water. I've kind of done a video of this as well, on one of my YouTube videos. It shows you how to recycle clay. But basically you just kind of like get dry clay, put it in some water and let it mix in, let it slake down. And then you can squidge it and dry it out a little bit, and then it'll be ready to use again. So I've kind of thinned this out, I think as much as I want it. So I've got that sort of a shape now with it. So that's going to form the top of my mushroom house. So I'm just going to thin that out a little bit because I can feel that it's a little bit thick there. And then I'll pop it down on the table, and I'm just going to smooth it off with my finger, and that'll get rid of all those cracks on it. So I've spent a few minutes just tidying that up with my finger, making it nice and smooth so there's no lumpy bumpy bits on it. So see, it's a lot smoother there than it was. Then the underneath is a little bit rough around the edges. If you want to, you can smooth that in just by running your finger across it, but I want some kind of texture there because it's a mushroom. It's like the underside of a mushroom and it's got those little gills on it. So I'm going to use, you've got like pottery tools here, so I might just use maybe one of these ones. Then that puts some little marks in it. So it's more mushroomy like. And then I'm going to use the ball shape tool. Make sure your tools are clean as well, so every time you use them try and wipe them off. And then I'm just going to push in. So it makes an indent in it. Just some random ones all over. Because I think it's going to be a spotty mushroom. You can support it on the inside as well while you're pushing against it to get a deeper indent. You might want to bear in mind as well that we're going to put a chimney on it somewhere. So maybe you want to figure your pattern out after you've decided where your chimney's going to go. But mine's going to be somewhere pretty much just off to the side, I think, at the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a pencil, if I can find one. Yep, there's one there. So, get a pencil. I'll leave it on here, or you can lift it up into your hands and support it and push through. But figure out where it's going to go, so I think about there is good. Push your pencil through really gently all the way through and wiggle it so it gets a bigger hole. It'll look like that on the inside, so it'll look really messy and blow out. So just smooth it over with your finger. And then I'm going to push my pencil in a little bit more and give it a bit more of a wiggle because I want a slightly bigger hole on it. So that's the whole size now. So you can see that's going to sit just off to the side at a jaunty angle, we'll say, at the top there. So I'm just going to tidy the edge up there. And on the inside again. You can even squash your mushroom top like into a different shape. So you can kind of, that one's, I've pushed in 3 points, so it's kind of triangulated it, if that's such a word. So you can see probably better on the bottom there. So it's gone that sort of a shape. Or you can have it totally round, whatever you fancy. But I quite like it a little bit off round. Then to make the chimney, I've got a little ball of clay. Roll it into a ball between your palms of your hands. Just put that to one side for a second. Make sure you have a clean space to roll on. And I'm going to roll a sausage with this. So I want a sausage that's going to be long enough to go around that hole. So you'll see in a second what I mean. So it needs to be long enough to bend around there. But what I'm going to do first is squish it down. So just with my finger, squash it down, smooth it off a little bit. Smooth it on the other side. And then make it go round into a circle shape. Check with the size on there, so that's a little bit too big, so I can cut it down to about there. So then when you're cutting it, if I normally cut this at a bit of an angle, get rid of that little bit and that little bit, and then I can stick these two bits together. So if the clay is still soft, which this is, you should just be able to blend it across. So pull the clay from one side to the other. Same on the inside, I'm just smoothing that off so I can't really feel or see the join anymore. If I can't really see the join, then I know it's all good. So I might actually pinch this out a little bit more. Make it a tad taller. So then these cracked bits, literally just smooth it over with your finger. Or you can use your paintbrush with a tiny bit of water on and smooth it over. But generally it's better just using your fingers. Your hands are always your best tools. So smooth that round. And then I'm just going to doubly make sure that it's going to sit on the top. So that's my hole, that's that bit, and that looks like a good fit. It's not too bad. Could possibly make it a tiny bit bigger, the hole, but I'll do that once I've got the chimney attached. So the next bit is to leave it, put the chimney where you want it, and then start blending down the side. I'm not too fussed if it kind of blends a little bit of my pattern over, because I can redo it, no problem. And you don't have to do round chimneys, you can do square ones, just use your imagination. There's a postie. So then the next thing I'm going to do, I've got all that smoothed in, I've used this tool. And basically you use it like your finger, but it's a little neat finger, and you can kind of smooth it down with that, and then use your finger to smooth it, like finish it off. I've also been back in and went over all my holes again, my little dints, just to make sure they're still all good. So you can, sometimes they've got like little windows and stuff on, so you could either model one and put it on, or you could just paint one on. I think I'm going to leave mine quite simple and let you use your imagination for yours. So yes, that's pretty much it. What I might do is, before I forget, I'll get my pencil again and just neaten that hole up a little bit, because it wasn't quite the right size, it needed to be a little bit bigger, so make it bigger just by doing that. I don't know if you can see there or not if I get my hands out of the way. So that's all nice and neat and tidy now, and that's what it looks like on the bottom. So again, you can just spend a little bit of time playing with it and getting it nice and neat and tidy, but that's your top bit done.